My story began at West Point, long before I ever coached a game at Duke. I was just a kid from Chicago, putting on the cadet gray. There, basketball was part of something bigger. We took an oath to join the long gray line, a brotherhood bound by duty, honor, and country. The thought of carrying that legacy still gives me chills. At West Point, we were taught mission first, the purpose above the person. Failure wasn't a destination, it was a teacher. To reach a new limit, you must do something you've never done before, and you learn the meaning of selfless service. What I learned there shaped how I led. Excellence begins in preparation. Standards don't bend. Leadership starts with serving others. Practice became our classroom. Preparation was the curriculum. Those lessons stayed with me at Duke, where I had the privilege to lead remarkable young men. 5 players, 1 purpose.
Oh, can you believe he got that high? Laettner puts it up. Yes!
Hold the standards every day, and the game rewards you.
Duke is the king of the dance.
The Blue Devils are the national champions.
Success wasn't about trophies or banners. It was about building a team that played and lived for one another. The foundation was laid at Army, and it grew at Duke. On Veterans Day, when these teams meet, it's more than a game. It's Duke at Army on CBS.
No better way to wrap up Veterans Day 2025 than to be here at the United States Military Academy, where the number 6 team in the country, the Duke Blue Devils, are in town to take on the Black Knights. And they're also in town because moments ago, Mike Krzyzewski, who spent 3 years as a guard for the Black Knights and 5 years as their head coach, was honored with his wife Mickey, his daughter Debbie, a banner being drawn giving the significance of his career as a college coach at Duke and at the United States Military Academy. Hey everybody, I'm Tom McCarthy along with Steve Lapis. We'll hear from John Rothstein in just a little bit. Stirring to see what happened just a few minutes ago.
I mean, there's no better place to be on Veterans Day. If you're at the Naval Academy, the Air Force Academy, or West Point, boy, those are the places to be. And what we just saw with Coach K, just a great night.
Very emotional for he and his family. All right, speaking of special, there's no doubt that the Duke Blue Devils have another special freshman class led by Cam Boozer.
Yeah, Cam Boozer's been unbelievable this year. He played really good against Western Carolina. He played good against Texas. But that game against Tennessee, that exhibition game, 24 points, 23 rebounds, and 6 assists against a top 20 Rick Barnes team. That was really impressive.
All right, we're not going to put the spotlight on every McCarthy here tonight, but we're going to spotlight Kevin McCarthy.
Well, Kevin McCarthy's been really good. The sophomore has taken a big step this year. 8 for 20 from the three-point line, 16 points a game. He's going to need to knock those 3 downs tonight.
All right, well, the tip is coming up in just a minute. The Cadets are ready to go. The Duke Blue Devils, number 4 in the country, against the Black Knights of Army. The jam-packed Crystal Arena on the campus of the United States Military Academy. The lineups are being introduced. Let's check in with John Rothstein.
Hey, Tom. Well, Cam Boozer is obviously at the epicenter of everything for Duke. But for the Blue Devils to go back to the Final Four for the 2nd consecutive season, the supporting cast will play a major role. That is directly related to the play at point guard with Caleb Foster and Caden Boozer, and also at small forward with Dame Sarr and a number of other players. John Shire told us before the game that Sarr is a young kid just finding his way. And, Tom, you know as well as I do, this is only November.
Only November, but he is really athletic. John Shire in his 4th season as the head coach of Duke. He said last year's Final Four was a stepping stone and motivated him and hopes it motivates the program. And you talk about the freshmen, 2 in the starting lineup for the Duke Blue Devils. And for the Black Knights, they're happy that Ryan Curry came back in his last game. He's still battling leg injuries, but he is getting better and better. for Kevin Kuick, the head coach of the Army Black Knights. And that is a good deal for him because he was really the most experienced scorer from last year.
I mean, he's the leading three-point shooter in the Patriot League last year, so he's a very, very important guy on this team. And that's what they do. They shoot a ton of threes, and that's one of the things Jon Scheyer was really concerned about before this game, those long rebounds especially.
Yeah, 41 three-pointers attempted in game one this year for the Black Knights of Army. As they're taking a look at the video, which is kind of introducing the crowd to their starting lineup. We said it is a capacity crowd. I mean, it is jammed. The cadets are back. We actually asked Kevin Kuick, you know, if he could feel the energy of this matchup, because it's only the second time in 40 years that a Power 5 team has come to the United States Military Academy, and both those times it was the Duke Blue Devils.
Oh, I'm sure he's looking at this and telling his kids that this is a great opportunity, which it certainly is for them.
Well, they were picked to finish 10th in the Patriot League. They're hoping that their young team can change that focus, and they can build on last season's 17-16 record.
Well,
10-8 in the Patriot League.
They lost a lot of guys from last year. A lot of guys are stepping up into new roles this year. And one of their best players, Josh Scovins, left and went to Davidson. He was a 15-point scorer last year. So, and you know, if you're at the U.S. Military Academy, you have the portal. There may be portaling guys out, but portaling guys in is not happening here.
Army did advance to the postseason. They won a game in the CBI postseason tournament. It was their first postseason win in 55 years.
A great win against Elon. This team has really had, last year, had a really good year. Again, they're retooling now, which is why they're picked 10th. But they've got a lot of kids that are ready to step up into new roles.
Meanwhile, for the Duke Blue Devils, they're 2-0, of course, 46 straight weeks in the top 25. They toured the campus yesterday. Jon Scheyer told us before the ball game that there were things that he learned yesterday that he did not know, and he's been here before. You know, we broadcast every year the Veterans Classic from the Naval Academy, and every year those coaches come back and say, man, what these kids do, and the players, what these kids do in these military academies is a whole different deal. And Jon Scheyer told us the same thing today. All right, well, we're just about ready to go. Adam Flory has the basketball at center court. Caleb Foster, one of the kids who obviously is going to be leaned on to help Duke get back to a Final Four. A Final Four where they feel like they left the national championship game on the floor against the Houston Cougars. They were up 6 points with 35 seconds to go, and Houston scored the last 9 points of that game. And you know, Jon Scheyer made a great comment to me before the game. I said, what do you want the team to really be good at by the end of the year? He said, communication. Yes. There was a screen that they didn't call out at the end of that game last year, and that game against Houston, it cost them. Well, the cadets are ready to go. What a scene. What a scene. Gotta just soak it in. Adam Flory's out at center court. Tate Lechkowski is ready to jump center against Gungba, and the tip is controlled by the Duke Blue Devils.